Hare Krishna. My Dandavat pranams to everybody. Hari Bol. So today is Saturday, 17th of August. Such a special day. We're still continuing with the Julan Yatra, but today is the Tirabhav of our most beloved Rupa Gosvami Pad. So we are most blessed on this day to have any type of opportunity whatsoever to glorify him, this exemplary personality who is saving our lives. So I'm going to sing this bhajan, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata. It's on page 47 of the songbook, if you would like to sing along in glorification of Rupa Goswami.
Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Tam Braja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika, Tam Braja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika, Konka Pata Uddhata, Konka Pata Uddhata, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Nirashira Hamsana Anavidyana, Nirashira Hamsana Anavidyana, Koprata Kodipayata, Kompreta Kodipayata, Kosabhyaji Bhaji Vrindavana, Kosabhyaji Bhaji Vrindavana, Koshabhagranta Virachita, Koshabhagranta Virachita, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Javapito Vana Pala Palatanana Viha, Javapito Vana Pala Palatanana Viha, Mano Raji Aravinda, Mano Raji Aravinda, So Madhukara Vino Arakona Janata, So Madhukara Vino Arakona Janata, Vidyamana Korivanda, Vidyamana Korivanda, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Yang Kali Rupa Sarira Nadarata, Kojanata Mathura Vrindavan, Kojanata Mathura Vrindavan, Kojanata Prajanita, Kojanata Prajanita, Kojanata Radha Madhava Rati, Janatara Amadhavarati O Janata Soyita O Janata Soyita Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadaharata Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadaharata Chakara Charana Prasade Sakala Jana Chakara Charana Prasade Sakala Jana Gau Gauri Vaisukha Mayota Gau Gauri Vaisukha Mayota Charane Kama Sharana Gati Marho Charana Kama Sharana Gata Marho Tava Mahima Urbrata Tava Mahima Tavaham Urbrata Tava Mahima Urbrata Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadarata Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadarata Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadarata Yangali Rupa Sarira Nadarata Jaya Rupa Gosvami Prabhu Rupa Gosvami Rupa Gosvami Prabhu Rupa Gosvami Prabhu Rupa Gosvami Prabhu Rupa Gosvami Rupa Gosvami Prabhu Rupa O Prabhu He 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 Srila Rupa Gosvami Pada Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Ganhavika Giridhari Radha Tota Gopinath Ju Ki Jai Shri Vrishabhanandini Vajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Shri Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Shri Satyanandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Shri Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nityalila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhusham Gaudi Vracharya Ki Jai Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Guru Traya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Shri Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Rupa Nuka Guru Varga Ki Jai Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Siga Holsi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Antadvit Mayapur Simantadvit Gautamdvit Madhyadvit Koladvit Ritudvit Janadvit Maudamdvit Rudadvit Atmakanadvit Dam Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopiko Govardhan Vadasavarmatmika Shri Brajamandal Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ganga Jamuni Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Srimati Brinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai Srimati Punamasi Yogamaya Maharani Ki Jai Shri Gopishwa Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Siddhasham Chakra Ki Jai, Ketra Mandal Ki Jai, Sarva Vigna Vanashakara Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai, Bhakta Prabha Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai, Charidam Ki Jai, Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai, Charya Chari Ki Jai, Akhara Mat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai, Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyanam Jala Shalakaya Chakshu Ummilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gauda Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Taravaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahaja Rupe, Nijana Rupe, Kabhuita Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swadala Swarupe, Anapita Chirin Chirat Kurunava Kanokala, Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam, Hari Purata Sundarata Tikatamba Siddhipita, Sadahridale Kanare Stratuva Sachinandanaha, Yam Pravajantamana Petyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Tikam Mayatayo Paravo Venidustam Sarvabhutam Hridim Munimaratoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shittasya Karmadi Tarangamadi Kripa Mayitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Baradram Tato Mamanasti Katina Kapi Tabai Basmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Rati Tvam Naiman Charantikam. And first of all, offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila, Pravishna Om, Hasto Tadasdara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again to our dear most Nitya Lila Pravishna Om Asto Tadasdara Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And on this most sacred day, I'm offering all my pranams to our dear most Srila Rupa Gosvami Mahotsava. Adadinastanam dantiya idam viche puna puna Srimad Rupam Dambhoja Dulisham Janma Janmanaha. Birth after birth, I'm praying to take birth as the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Srila Rupa Gosvami Mahotsava. And I'm praying to all our Rupanuga Guru Varga and all the assembled Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavim Namaha. You should have it streaming on your phone so you can tell me when it's frozen. It's just frozen now. So
In frozen, was only the least writing.
yeah, it's unfrozen. So we just sang this beautiful bhajan by Madhava Das, and but YouTube is also working now. So I'm going to read a translation of this beautiful bhajan and unpack it something as we go through. So had Rupa Goswami not appeared in this age of Kali, who would have opened the doors to the great treasure house of Braja Prem? If Rupa Goswami, that most confidential maidservant of Srimati Radhika, had not appeared to fulfill the desire of Sachinandan Gaurahari. Sachinandan Gaurahari had a desire. He had three desires. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidri Shovanaiva. He wanted to understand the glories of Radhika's love, the immensity of her love, which overwhelms him, and that
Swadyen Adbhuta Madhurima Kidrishova Madhya. He wanted to understand the Madhurima, that Adbhuta Madhurima, those most astonishing, Adbhuta, exceptional qualities in himself that Sri Radhika appreciated, that sent Radhika into a state of Divyan Mad, into a state of madness. Sri Radhika would be embracing tamal trees, rolling on the ground on the dust if she just saw a peacock feather. When she heard the sound of the flute, she would be stunned. So Krishna wants to know, what is it in me that sends Radhika into such a high state of bhav? Consequently, she will be experiencing the highest state of blissful prema, that Madanakya Mahabhav, which Krishna could not taste himself, or that Mohan Akya Mahabhav, which Krishna could not taste himself in separation. So Krishna was anxious to appreciate the nature of Radha's love. And then finally, his third desire, Sokyam Kasyam Mad Anubhavata, this my Anubhav, Mad Anubhavata. Sokyam Kasyam Mad Anubhavata, Kitrisham Vatilovat Satbhavadya Samajini Sachi Garavo Sindhu Harindu. This is the 6th verse of the Adi Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this is describing the nature of the desires of Sachinandan Gaurahari. He had these 3 desires: to understand the glories of Radha's prema, to understand his own astonishing qualities. It's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita as a child. He sees his quality, he sees his reflection in a jeweled column, and he thinks, I've never seen a more beautiful reflection in my life. And he wants to embrace that boy, and he offers that boy a sweet, and to his astonishment, that boy is offering a sweet back to him. So Krishna's heart completely embraces his own reflection in the column. And then he realizes that this is just a reflection. But in the avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's come specifically to taste Radhika's prema. Prem ras niryase horite ashvara. This is what he's come to taste. And he cannot do that without the confidential maidservant of Sri Radhika herself, who is Rupa Gosvami. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is giving so many directions and instructions to the sadhaks, to the various associates that he was with. But in particular, it's Rupa Goswami who had the adhikar, who had the ability. We say this beautiful verse every day. Priya Swarupe, Priya Swarupe. He was most dear to Swarab Damodar. And Daita Swarupe, he was most dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prema Swarupe, he understood the prema because he's the most confidential maidservant of Sri Radhika, Rupa Manjari. So Sri Radhika has sent her very own topmost Manjari to assist Mahaprabhu. So if Rupa Goswami had not appeared, if he had not come, where would this current of prema, this current of Swabhakti Shriyam that Mahaprabhu is distributing, only at this particular point of time, in the whole day of Lord Brahma, every 8,640,000,000 years, only once is this special prema being distributed, and it's coming through the mouthpiece or the handwriting of, yes, stop it down, Rupa Goswami was fully qualified. And this verse that we sing every day is Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, most dear to Mahaprabhu. and Prema Swarupa, the embodiment of Prem. Because this is Radhika's Prem that Mahaprabhu wants to taste. Radhika, this Swarup Shakti. So, and Sahajapi Rupa, he had the most beautiful, splendid form. His form himself was practically as beautiful as Sri Radhika's form. It was a reflection of Radhika. Rupa Goswami is the very heart of Radhika. Radhika is completely dependent on Rupa Goswami for all his his support in all of her pastimes. So Rupa Goswami is the one who is describing all of this line throughout our Guru Varga. Sanatana Goswami is there also. Sanatana Goswami is Lavanga Manjari. And then there's Raghunath Bhatta, he's Rati Manjari. And Raghunath Das, Rasa Manjari. And Jiva Goswami, Vilasa Manjari. And Gopal Bhatta, Guna Manjari or Ananga Manjari. All are Manjaris. But who is the top of the Manjari? This is Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami is, so we always say Rupa Nuga Guru Varga. So we are Rupa Nugas. We're Anuga. We're following Rupa Goswami in this line. And we are Raga Nugas because we're following in the wake of the eternal residence of Vrindavan. And this is all given to us through the mouthpiece of Rupa Goswami. And then it says, Nijana Rupe Prabhu Eka Rupe. This Nijana Rupe, he was fully qualified to give this highest appreciation. This had never been given before. We say again, this verse that Rupa Goswami has written, Anapita Chirim Chirat. This is Chirim Chirat, not for a long, long time. So Rupa Goswami, he's speaking this verse. And we say daily this incredible verse, Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunai Bharatanokala. This most merciful gift is coming in such a, after such a long time, Chirim Chirat. So it's so sacred and so subtle. Previously, Shuddha Bhakti had been practiced. And of course, Vaidhi Bhakti is there. But this Raganuga Bhakti had not been opened out at all until Sachinandan Gaurahari manifested at this time as the Golden Avatar. It wasn't given before. And it's Rupa Goswami who's carrying this. It's saying Tatana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe, that he is qualified to explain and describe the pastimes of Sachinandan Gaurahari. So this is the great gratitude that the devotees are remembering today. When we sing this song, had Rupa Goswami not appeared in this age of Kali, who would have opened the doors to the great treasure house of Braja Prem? First of all, we have to know what is that Braja Prem? What is that Unnata Ujjwala Ras that Mahaprabhu wanted to taste? So I've just explained that in those three desires. They capture what is Unnata Ujjwala Prem. It's the glories of Radhika's love, and it's the beautiful qualities of Krishna that she sees, and it's the happiness, Sokyam, that she experiences by receiving the sweetness, that Mad Anubhav of Krishna's love. The devotees must become very familiar with these verses and these descriptions about Rupa Goswami, because this is our very line, this is our life. Without this current of bhakti coming directly from Rupa Goswami, my Gurudev describes like Rupa Goswami is like the flute sound. Krishna is playing the flute, the sound of the flute. This is manifesting in the world through the greatness of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami physically met the Lord 3 times. First in Ramkeli for a very brief period of time. He was working for the Nao of Bengal. They were press ganged. They were threatened, if you don't work for us, we will persecute the Vaishnavas. So the Muslim rulers were very vicious. So Sanatan and Rupa Goswami were working there. So when Mahaprabhu came through Ramkeli, they had perhaps 10-15 minutes association with Mahaprabhu at that time. And they prayed diligently, Namo Mahavadhanaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gaura Krishna. They prayed to Mahaprabhu at that time, and he instructed them to leave that service. And then Rupa Goswami meets Mahaprabhu at Prayag for 10 days at the Dashvamedha Ghat, and he's with his brother Balabha. And he hears at that time all the Raskatha indications. Mahaprabhu empties himself fully in Prayag, and this is beautifully described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he goes to Vrindavan, and then he returns to Bengal, and then he goes to Puri for about 10 months. And he stays with Haridas Thakur at the Siddhavakul, and there he's hearing and seeing, witnessing Mahaprabhu's pastimes directly. And he's absorbing all these truths to be able to express them into the world for posterity. Without Rupa Goswami expressing all these truths, how would they have come about? Who could have possibly sensitively picked up these subtle truths to carry the conditioned jivas into this highest conception of Braja Prem? And then it's saying, who but Sri Rupa Goswami could have extracted the essence of the scriptures in the same way that a swan separates water from milk? Who could have understood this? We understand that beautiful pastime of when Mahaprabhu is dancing in the Ratha Yatra, and he sings that song, a mundane song, Yat Komara Haras Sa Eva Hi Paras Ta Eva Chaitra Shapas. He sings this song, and nobody can understand it. Swarup Damodar can understand it, but Nityananda doesn't really understand it. Advaita Acharya doesn't really. That's not what they're empowered to do. But Rupa Goswami, he understands it. And he writes a poem explaining that song in a very rasik manner. And that Priya Soham, Krishna Sahachari Kuru Chetra Militas. He sings, he writes this verse. Mahaprabhu, he finds this verse on a leaf in the hut of Haridas Thakur, and he becomes so ecstatic and surprised that this young boy has understood my heart. So these two verses are very important because they show the confidential nature and ability of Rupa Goswami's swan-like ability to separate the essence from the milk. So the milk is like this verse, Ya Komara Haras Sa Eva Hivaras Ta Eva Chaitra Shapas. And the translation of this is, that very personality who stole my heart during my youth is now again my master. This is a mundane song. These are the same moonlit nights in the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the Reva, under the Vitasi tree. That is my desire. So this was the verse that is described in the Antya-lila chapter 1 that Mahaprabhu was singing. Now, Rupa Goswami, he writes a verse explaining this same mood and conception, but in a Braj flavor. He says, my dear, this Priya Soham, Krishna Saha Chari Kuru Kshetra Militas. This is the first line of the verse that Rupa Goswami writes. And he says, my dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. This is when Radharani visits Kurukshetra after 70 odd years of separation. She's come to Kurukshetra with all the Brijvasis. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. This is what was in Mahaprabhu's heart when he was singing the mundane song. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but I would like to go to the bank of the Jamuna, between the trees of the forest there, beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavan. So this is Rupa Goswami's response to that verse that Mahaprabhu is chanting. Mahaprabhu was so amazed when he read this verse. And it's almost like Krishna's Kaviraj is sharing with us. This is when Mahaprabhu understood the intrinsic nature and identity of Rupa Goswami. Because then, when Mahaprabhu finds this verse, then he requests all his senior associates to congregate at Haridas Thakur's Siddha Bakul Bhajan Kutir the next day. And they all come. And then Mahaprabhu publicly, he asks Rupa Goswami to reveal the writings of his two books. We remember that Rupa Goswami, initially, when he heard the teachings in Prayag, had decided to write one book describing the Vrindavan pastimes and the Dwarka pastimes in one compilation. But when he gets to a town called Satyabhama, then he has a dream, and in the dream it's described that Satyabhama herself comes and says, no, don't present one book, present it in two. Don't bring Vrindavan into Dwarka, in other words. So Rupa Goswami, he hears this. And when he comes to Puri, then Mahaprabhu reiterates the same instruction to him. Don't write these two leelas in one leela. And we understand why. This Madhurya Ras of Braj is so unique, it's so special. The flavor of Braj is only to support and nourish Krishna. They're not asking Krishna for anything whatsoever, except does he want more roti and makan? This is all. How can they please Krishna? Whereas in Dwarka, Krishna's like a prince, or he's like Paramatma, Super Soul, or he's like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they're all offering him with awe and veneration, prayer and so on. But we should understand the science of both of these pastimes, actually, because we understand our own personal history, how we have come. Most Western devotees have all come through the teachings of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And he first taught us about Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So unless we understand that first, and that Aishwarya mood that goes with that understanding, this is like the external aspect of Krishna. It's like his form. He is that Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what is the internal sweetness of Krishna? Unless we understand the external form of Krishna in the form of Aishwarya, how can we expect to understand the internal sweetness of his qualities, etc.? First we have to understand his form, and then afterwards we can enter, when we've understood that fully and honored that fully, then we can enter into the sweetness of his qualities and of his leelas. So this is the arrangement of the Lord to demonstrate his Dwarka pastimes in full Aishwarya. But we understand that this Aishwarya is, it's feeble. The love is feeble, that Aishwarya. But the prem of the Brijvasis is completely different to that. And this is what Rupa Goswami specifically is giving in his writings and so on. And he writes about all topics that Mahaprabhu expresses. Particularly, he writes about also the holy name. The holy name is the background or the entrance for the sadhak in this age to purify his conditioned existence and then to enter the pastimes of Vrindavan. Without that holy name purifying the consciousness, Mahaprabhu has empowered this holy name in such a way that it will purify the heart very quickly. Parambhajayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So Rupa Goswami, he writes another verse also, Tunde Tandavini Ratam Vitnute Tandavali Labhyai. This is describing, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within my mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When the name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. Rupa Goswami is reciting this verse in the assembly at the Siddha Bakul to all those senior Nityananda Prabhu's there, Advaita Acharya, Vakrashra Pandit, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So many, Srivas Thakur, so many personalities are there listening to with astonishment to the poetry of Rupa Goswami. And it's at this time, when we read these chapters, this Antya-lila chapter 1 in particular, that all of those senior devotees, Ramananda Rai, Swarup Damodar, they all realize that the gift of Mahaprabhu is in complete safe hands. It's all been described immaculately by Srila Rupa Goswami. And they are absolutely astonished with his poetry and his descriptions. It's saying here, the next day after visiting the temple of Jagannath as usual, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Sarvabhauma Acharya, Ramananda Rai, Swarup Damodar. They all went together to Srila Rupa Goswami. On the way, the Lord greatly praised his qualities. When Sri Chaitanya recited the two important verses, he felt great pleasure, thus as if he had 5 mouths. These verses are the Yakomara Harasara verse that Mahaprabhu sang, and then the response, Priya Saham, this verse that Rupa Goswami wrote. When he recited these two verses, he felt such happiness. Then, just to examine Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Roy, the Lord began to praise the transcendental qualities of Rupa Goswami before them. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ordered Rupa Goswami to read the verse they had previously heard, Rupa Goswami, because of great shyness, did not read it, but instead remained silent. So the beautiful, remarkable character of Rupa Goswami is that you're not watching your phone. It's not coming back on YouTube. It's on Facebook, but it's not on YouTube.
From beginning they're saying this is breaking on the YouTube, so they are seeing on Facebook.
Okay, so on Facebook. Okay. So I'll carry on Facebook.
YouTube frozen.
So it's demonstrating the exceptional character, personality of Srila Rupa Goswami in his shyness and hesitancy in the front of such a selective assembly to speak these glorious verses. But the devotees, they are all absolutely astonished. And it's described that the two plays are called Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav. Both of them wonderfully describe the ecstatic emotional love of God. This is all described in Antya-lila chapter 1, Antilila chapter 1. So YouTube seems to have conked out altogether practically. And then right at the beginning of his presentation of Vidatta Madhav, he quotes this beautiful verse, Anapita Chirin Chirat Kurunaivartino Kalo, which we have spoken on so many times. So this is capturing the very heart of what Mahaprabhu has come to distribute, this Swabhakti Shriyam. And when Mahaprabhu was hearing this verse, the devotees, prior to Mahaprabhu hearing it, Swarup Damodar ordered the devotees write this verse on the wall outside the Gambhira. Because when Mahaprabhu heard this verse, he blocked his ears because it's glorifying him. It's saying that in the age of Kali, by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. It's glorifying Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we know that Mahaprabhu has come in a covered form, in a covered way. Why does he come in a covered way? Because this gift is very confidential. This Raganuga Bhakti is so special and precious that it cannot just be thrown in the open market constantly. So then all the devotees present so greatly appreciated this verse that they expressed their gratitude to Sri Rupa Goswami for his transcendental recitation. And then he begins to describe some verses from Vidatta Madhav. So I should just come back again to this bhajan that we're looking at, because everything is in this bhajan that we're talking about. That it was saying, the last verse I read, that who could have abandoned everything to perform bhajan in Vrindavan? He gave up a very opulent lifestyle and came to Vrindavan to dedicate himself to giving this to the world. And who could have written such scriptures? Only Sri Radhika, by the empowerment of Sri Radhika. So YouTube is still not finished. Okay, so then the next verse in this Yam Kali Rupa Sarirana Dharata. He was a honey bee amid many varieties of blossoming yellow forest flowers and mind-enchanting lotuses. Without that honey bee, who could have known the art of drinking the nectar present, yet confined within those flowers? So he also has the beautiful song, Krishna De Bhagavan Tamavande, which is also describing the similar idea of the honeybee. The honeybee is like Krishna, drinking the sweetness of the Sakhi's love. Rupa Goswami himself doesn't directly talk extensively about Manjari Bhav. He talks about the backdrop of Vrindavan Dham. He talks about the relationship between Radha and Krishna. This is what he principally gives us. But it's Raghunath Das who gives us the key and entrance, and Prabodhananda Saraswati into the Manjari Bhav. But that's all inspired by Rupa Goswami. So then in this bhajan, coming back to it, who could have understood the glories of Mathura and Vrindavan? Who could have fathomed the intricacies of Braj? Who could have understood the rati between Sri Radha and Madhav? Who could have known that love? That love simply was not described previously, had never been described previously before. It's just because Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Sri Radhika, desiring to taste her love, particularly her Vipralamba Bhav, which he experiences in Puri. So prior to that in Navadvip, then Mahaprabhu is more in a Shyam mood. But when he meets Rai Ramananda at the Godavari, then he gets that Sakhi Bhav awakened within him, so that he can taste this mood of Radhika. But his relish of that mood comes from these writings, that because this was the mission. Mahaprabhu had two missions. The first was Prem Ras, Niryase, Koriteshwar, to taste his own prem. That was the first. And the second was Ragmarg Bhakti Loke Karite Pracham, was to give this Raganuga to the world. So giving this Raganuga to the world has to come through Rupa Goswami, only through him. And it has to be presented in such a way that the heart can accept it. So it's spoken, if we read the poetry, the stavas of Rupa Goswami, Stavamala, etc., they are Padyavali, they are so exceptionally brilliant. There's no other poet that comes close to the descriptions that Rupa Goswami gives. So now, in this Antilila, chapter 1, I'm going to read some parts of that, where Rupa Goswami is reading directly from the Ujjvala Nilamani. And he's reading directly to these most senior devotees. He says, Brahmananda Rai had asked a question, and Sri Rupa Goswami has explained Kama Likhana in his book Ujjvala Nilamani, Vipralamba Prakana. Exchanges of letters between a young boy and a young girl concerning their awakening of attachment for each other are called Kama Lekha. And now he quotes from his Vidagdha Madhu. Experiencing previous attachment to Krishna, Purvarag, Srimati Radharani thought, since I have heard the name of a person called Krishna, I have practically lost my good sense. Then there is another person who plays his flute in such a way that after I hear the vibration, intense madness arises in my heart. And again there is still another person to whom my mind becomes attached when I see his beautiful lightning-like effulgence in his picture. Therefore I think that I am greatly condemned, for I have become simultaneously attached to three persons. It would be better for me to die because of this. So Rupa Goswami is presenting this to these senior associates in Puri, and they're all just astonished at his sensitivity, that he can actually reach into the heart of Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam. This is written by Narottam. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Kadati Swapati. So many verses glorifying Sri Rupa Goswami. And then again in Vidagdha Madhu. My dear friend, these palpitations of Srimati Radharani's heart are extremely difficult to cure. Even if one applied some medicinal treatment, it would only end in defamation. So, because most of the people, I think, on this thread today will have listened to our Rasa Tattva reading from Jaivadama. So, it gives us a greater ability to appreciate these writings of Rupa Goswami, no doubt. And again in Vidagdha Madhu, it's saying, O dearly beautiful one, the artistic loveliness of your picture is now impressed within my mind. Since you are now living within my mind, wherever I wish to run, because I'm agitated by impressions of you, I find that you, my friend, are blocking my way. Sri Radhika is feeling like this. And then Sri Radhika said to her constant companion, these are all from the writings of Vidagdha Madhu. And Rupa Goswami is directly reading these in this assembly for the first time. And all these associates of Mahaprabhu are becoming intoxicated completely by hearing the writing. What to speak of us 500 years later? More than 500 years later. What sort of intoxication can we receive and experience from hearing these writings and teachings of Rupa Goswami?
Srimati Radharani said to her constant companion Vishaka, "My dear friend, if Krishna is unkind to me, there will be no need for you to cry, for it will not be due to any fault of yours. I shall then have to die, but afterwards, please do one thing for me. Observe my funeral ceremony. Place my body with its arms embracing a tamal tree like creepers, so that I may remain forever in Vrindavan undisturbed. This is my last request." Try to enter into the heart of these expressions of divine love that Radhika is expressing to Vishaka Devi. She's expressing her heart. This is what only Rupa Goswami has the ability to capture. So I think just YouTube should be cancelled. I'll cancel YouTube altogether. So we'll just go with Facebook for the rest of the day. So again in Vidagdha Madhav, another beautiful expression. This is spoken by Punamasi Devi. She says, "My dear beautiful friend, if one develops love of Godhead, love of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, all the bitter and sweet influences of this love will manifest in one's heart. Such love of Godhead acts in two ways. The poisonous effects of love of Godhead defeat the severe and fresh poison of the serpent. Yet there is simultaneously transcendental bliss which pours down and defeats the poisonous effects of the snake, as well as the happiness derived from pouring nectar on one's head. It is perceived as doubly effective, simultaneously poisonous and nectarian." So how beautiful a meditation this is. And this is what directly Rupa Goswami has bestowed upon us. He's given us this. And then again, spoken by Punamasi. If one hears praise of his beloved, this is about the dynamic of love itself. Actually, Madhumangal is asking Punamasi, what is this special quality of this love between Radha and Krishna? So Punamasi describes this. When one hears praise from his beloved, you can shut that door. He outwardly remains neutral, but feels pain within his heart. When he hears his beloved making accusations about him, he takes them to be jokes and enjoys pleasure. When he finds faults in his beloved, they do not diminish his love, nor do the beloved's good qualities increase his spontaneous affection. Thus, spontaneous love continues under all circumstances. This is how spontaneous love of Godhead acts within the heart. So who could have written such a sensitive verse as this except Rupa Goswami? Again in Vedanta Madhav, upon hearing of my cruelty, moon-faced Radharani will establish some kind of tolerance in her aggrieved heart. This is when Krishna has received a letter from Sri Radhika, and Krishna is with Madhumangal. This is right at the beginning of their pastimes, because Rupa Goswami presents in the Vedanta Madhav as if Radha and Krishna haven't really met yet at the beginning. It's completely like two new lovers. So neither is sure of the other's affection for each other. So Krishna receives this letter from Radhika, and he's with Madhumangal, and he puts this letter in a, he feels like, the way it's described is that Krishna begins to act like a renounced brahmachari when he gets this letter from Radha. Say, who are these fickle-minded gopis? Why are they writing? Breaking Maryad, breaking Dharma. And
writing letters like this? I'm just a young prince of Braj. Why are they writing like this? And then this hurts Radharani's heart when she hears him acting like this. So this verse is in a response. Krishna is saying this himself. He's saying, upon hearing of my cruelty, his cruelty in ridiculing her letter, moon-faced Radharani may establish some kind of tolerance in her aggrieved heart, but then she might turn against me, or indeed, being fearful of the lusty desires invoked by the bow of formidable Cupid, she might even give up her life. Alas, I have foolishly uprooted the soft creeper of her desires, just when it was ready to bear fruit. So all these are written directly in the Antya Lila, chapter 1. But Rupa Goswami has not only given us this very high conclusion, he takes us through from Upadeshamrita, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Atyahara, Prayasyascha, and then Utsaha, Nischayat, Daryat, Dati, Parignati, Kuyam. All these verses, all the way up to Manjari Bhav, in 11 verses, he gives us a whole necklace of instruction and guidance. And he gives us the complete stairway to Bhav Bhakti by describing the symptoms of Bhav, for example, Shantya, Avyakta, Kalarpam, Viraktiya, Manasunyata, Ashrabandha, Samutkanta, Namagana Sadaruchi, Pritistat Pasate Sale, Vishate Stad. Is that the last part?
Krishna Bhashati Sthale Priti.
Priti. All of the verses that we speak from Anyavilasitashanyam, Sarvopadi Vimiryuktam, Tat Parapena Nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesh, Sevanam Bhaktya Uchyatam. All the verses, this Kriti Sadhya Bhavat Sadhya Bhavsa Sadhanavila, all of these verses are coming from Rupa Goswami. Kleshagni, Shubhada, Mokshalakuta Krit, Sudulavam, Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Prem Suryavam, Sri Krishna Akashani Chasa. And then he's also given us this Shurasattva Visheshatma, Prem Suryavam Samyava. These are all key essential verses, like stepping stones. And we should become familiar with the whole chain of verses that Rupa Goswami has enunciated. He's also described what is prem itself. Sarvata Dvamsa Rahitam Yadyapi Dvamsa Karane Yadbhava Bandhanam Yuno Sa Prem Parikirtitam. He's describing young lovers. But their prem, they can't break that love. That love can't be broken. So many verses he's giving us in glorification of this path. Not simply just the verses of the intoxicating beauty of that prem itself, but all the stepping stones to realize that. Seva Satak Rupena, Siddha Rupena Chakrahi. All the verses, all the way through, giving us the complete guide. So everything is there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and that has been captured by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and presented in the Bindu, a simpler form for Kali Yuga. So we have everything, all the stepping stones, the guidance, and we have the prayojan, we have the beautiful verses that I've been reading through a little bit from the Antya Lila. There's another beautiful verse here describing Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami extensively describes Vrindavan, the backdrop for all Krishna's pastimes. The sweet, fragrant honey oozing from newly grown mango buds is again and again attracting groups of bumblebees, and this forest is trembling in the softly moving breezes from the Malay hills, which are full of sandalwood trees. Thus the forest of Vrindavan is increasing my transcendental pleasure. So this is from Vidartha Madhav again. So the serious sadhak will absorb and drink all these writings and teachings. He not only wrote the beautiful conclusion, but he also wrote the pathway to come to the conclusion. He writes from Shraddha to Prem. What's that done? Shraddha. From Shraddha all the way to Prem. All the different stages, Anatta, Nivriti, Ruchi, Bhav, Sakti, Prem, etc. He writes all of these. Nothing is left out from Rupa Goswami, from top to bottom. The most confidential maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And we glorify him daily in our prayers and in our study, in our careful reading and our listening. We are always glorifying the speciality of Rupa Goswami. So I'll just conclude with these last verses, this last verse in this young Kali Rupa. By the mercy of his lotus feet, all souls may sing and inspire others to sing about the glories of love of Radha Madhav, thereby attaining true joy. O Srila Rupa Goswami, having surrendered at your lotus feet, may this Madhava Das be able to comprehend your unlimited glories. If we begin to comprehend the glories, even a little bit, of Rupa Goswami by examining all the verses that he's given for a start, to bring us to that stage of Bhav Bhakti, and then to see the road of Prema Bhakti, this Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag. Who has given all these terminologies? It's Rupa Goswami who's given it all. Who has described the Divyan Mad of Sri Radhika? It's Rupa Goswami. These talks of Chitra Jalpa in the Brahmara Gita, 10th canto. All of these are all described by Rupa Goswami. There's nothing at all left out from his teachings. Everything is there. So the devotees just simply need to unpack these teachings for themselves. Particularly today, perhaps you'd like to meditate on Antya-lila chapter 1. If you read through this and read these verses, they're intoxicating. So Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Ananta Gauda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Go Prem. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai, Rupa Goswami Turabha ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, who also embodied every single particle of Srila Rupa Goswami's teachings. That's why he gave these 5-day festivals. Every year we would have a 5-day festival glorifying the specialities of Rupa Goswami, and that's still going on today. So tomorrow also, in our Sangha, they're celebrating the glories of Srila Rupa Goswami tomorrow. So we can never say sufficient about Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, so my apologies about YouTube. What can we do? Jai Vanshakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripasindhyacha, Patitanam Bhavnibhyo, Vaishnavena Moha. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai.